everybody, this is Joanne from Qdabra Software, and in this demo, I will be presenting the QuerySharePoint feature of DBXL. So obviously, we know that InfoPath includes this built-in ability to use SharePoint library or list as data sources. Let's say I have this data to query in my SharePoint library, and I want it to be displayed in my form. And it's easy with InfoPath. You'll just use the SharePoint query in Tools, Data Connections, select SharePoint library or list, and from there you can create a secondary data connection to query your data from SharePoint. But while this can be easy with InfoPath, the problem comes down when using dynamic queries. With InfoPath, you can't have a dynamic query on secondary data connections except with web services. And although SharePoint uses web services, it does not provide the ability to pass a parameter. You have to load the whole list and then use filters to display the correct records. And using this method when you have thousands of records to query could cause a large overhead on performance, and your form can become unmanageable. Now, the advantage of using DBXL's QuerySharePoint is that it guarantees you faster queries, since it allows the web service to execute the filter on the server and just send you the matches. And another good thing is that it provides quick and easy filtering by using the Query Builder tool, which comes in package with DBXL. You can use this tool to automatically create your SharePoint queries to use in your form. And currently, it offers multiple methods, which allow you to query your SharePoint data from drop-down lists or table lists, depends on the need of your form. And with QuerySharePoint, you can query dynamic data without the hassle of writing codes. And I'll be showing you how to do dynamic queries later in this demo. So in this screen, I'm showing you the Query Builder tool. To start, let's fill out the required fields. First, in the web service URL prefix, we will enter the URL to the machine where DBXL is installed. As you can see, the web service name is already populated by Qdabra Web Service as default. Next, choose SharePoint List instead of SQL Database, and here we will enter the SharePoint URL that we're going to be using. So next is to query the columns. Just insert a new row here, and then click the database icon on the left. Now you will see that the task pane shows the library as a folder, and if we expand it, it will list all the columns in that library. So we'll try to select 3 columns. Now before we create the filter, let's take a quick look at our sample library. So in the sample library, you will see that I have several projects in my list, and each corresponds to an owner and a client. So let's say we want to filter the projects to only display those that belongs to client 1 and client 2. And it's very easy to do this with Query Builder. In the Query Filter section, just insert a new comparison, and then select the column that you want to filter. In this case, you want to select Client, and then leave the comparison operator as equal. We will enter Client 1 here as our value, and then insert another comparison for Client 2. And then change the operator to OR. So that's very easy and simple. You can also add some sorting. Select the column that you want to sort, and in this case, I want to sort the project column and select by ascending or descending. So let's try descending. And when everything's all set, click on Build Now button. You will see that the query strings are automatically constructed for you. In this screen, I'm showing you a blank info platform, and for this demo, we will be populating a table using QuerySharePoint Web Service. To start, we must add a data connection to the form. And to do that, we go to Tools, Data Connections. In this case, we want to receive data, as we will be receiving data from the web service. So, in this window, just enter the URL for the QuerySharePoint web service. Next, InfoPath will list the methods that are available for QuerySharePoint. And as you can see, there are currently 8 methods available. For this demo, we will be using static queries, so we will select Get List Items STR. Click Next. Now this window is the portion where we will use the queries from QueryBuilder. But first, we must set the parameters of the list URL. So let's go back to our sample library, copy the list URL, paste it as a parameter, then go back to QueryBuilder, copy the first string, paste it, next. So the same window will be displayed. We will again set the parameter of the list URL and paste the SharePoint URL link. And then for the query, let's go back to QueryBuilder and copy the second string, paste that, click Next, and then finish this data connection. So now let's see how QuerySharePoint will work. Let's select the fields that are returned from our secondary data connection. In the task pane, click on Data Source and select the secondary data connection Get List Items STR. Here, as you can see, the values are returned as row value lists. So drag this node into our form and display it as repeating table. So let's try to preview this. As you can see, the table is populated with the values from our SharePoint library, and it shows that data is filtered showing only those projects for Client 1 and Client 2. And the project name is also sorted in descending order.